Hey guys, it is Mr. King back again for another lesson here. We are sticking with that bug theme, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to use a circle tracer. In this case, we're going to use a tape roll. Any sort of tape roll will do. I like the masking tape one because it's not way too wide. But you are going to, with me, make a awesome looking spider. Now for this lesson, I will list off the supplies in the text ahead of the video, so if you want to pause, check out that list and get the stuff you need, that's great. But if you don't, I'll try to list off a couple other items as I work here that you can use to replace. I'm using cardstock paper. Any real paper will do as long as it's relatively blank. If you want to use paint to finish this, especially watercolor, you're going to want something stiffer and more absorbent. So watercolor paper is the best, but corrugated cardboard will work in a pinch. But you don't have to paint it in the end. You could be using colored pencils or markers, whatever you really please. I personally think adding some paint really makes this a lot nicer. So, check this out. I'm gonna start with my tape roll. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it a little bit above the middle of my paper, and I'm going to trace the outside of my tape roll. And you guessed it, what kind of a shape am I gonna get? Well, nothing but a circle. And so that is actually what I want exactly. And what we are gonna do today is we're gonna talk about overlapping. That is when one thing goes over another one visually. So overlapping in art for right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tape roll and I'm gonna put it about halfway on and off the circle that I already had. You can see right in that gap in the middle, it's about halfway. You can go a little low, you can go a little high, and it really won't ruin up as long as you can really see the bottom of the circle you made in the middle of your tape roll. And now you're gonna trace the inside of your circle. That's gonna give you a slightly smaller circle. And that is exactly what we want. Check this out. Now I need to find a good trusty eraser. A separate block eraser is always a good idea, but really any kind of eraser will do. And you're going to erase the space where your lower circle crosses your upper, so the top part of your lower circle. And what this will do is if you do a good enough job erasing and you take some time with it, you're still going to be able to see that ghosted line there, but don't worry, we're going to add color to this in the end. But what it will appear is if the larger circle is overlapping the lower circle. And that's what we want. So to make that even more apparent, let's take our trusty permanent marker, our Sharpie, and let's go over our lines here. So I told you we're working with insects and we're making a spider right now. Well, this big circle is going to be the abdomen. On a lot of spiders, the thorax is really, really small between the head and the abdomen. So this lower circle is actually going to be the head of our spider. And then we're going to add some details right now. So spiders have usually between 4 and 6 eyes. So we are going to add, for mine, I'm just going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 circles. I like to set at least 1 or 2 of them back a little further because spiders' eyes tend to make an arc around so they can see more. That's why they have more eyes. They're predators. They're trying to find their prey. The next thing I'm going to do too is at the bottom, I'm going to make 2 tall U's right next to each other, right in the center of that bottom circle. Now these are going to be the spider's mandibles. They're not like mandibles like we think about the mandibles on ants' mouths to grab, those pincers. They kind of look like 2 fingers or something sticking out, okay? So once you've made those the way you want to on the ends of our mandibles, we are gonna put our fangs. Now our fangs can be really long and thin, or they can be really pretty short. It's up to you. I'm gonna make mine kind of a medium. Very cool. And then we're going to be adding our legs. So you guys know how many legs a spider has, I hope. I mean, it's what makes a spider mainly, which is those 8 creepy legs, 4 on each side. So what we will do for that is if you have a straight edge, great. If you want to freehand it, that's fine too. Making the straight edge do the legs really does kind of help a little bit. But for this purpose, I'm just going to Sharpie in the stuff I did in pencil real quick, and then I'm just going to freehand it to keep it going really fast. Okay? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 eyes. I've got my mandibles outlined, I've got my fangs outlined, and now we're gonna do our legs. Watch this. I'm gonna do a double jointed leg in terms of not double jointed like going either way, but literally 2 joints, 1, 2, okay? So I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. And by the way, I like to put those legs terminating at the point in which the abdomen meets the thorax. That makes it a little more realistic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very cool, right? And then watch this. First joint. 1, 2, 3. You can have these crisscross each other. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you got to try to, even in that kind of cluster of craziness, find that last little bit if you want to do one more joint, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. Our spider has nice creepy legs. We're digging the way he looks. Now is time for the details and where you can get really creative. I had a kid make a scorpion tail off the back of his spider and make it this really crazy weird thing. I had kids do all kinds of cool symbols up here. They'll look kind of like the Black Widow one. If you want to know the Black Widow symbol, it's really easy. All you got to do is draw an X, like so. You guys can all do that, I think. And watch this. Connect the bottom of your X, connect the top of your X. Oh my gosh, it's that creepy hourglass shape of the Black Widow spider. But let's make this a new kind of Black Widow where there's going to be like a circle right here and a circle right here. We'll fill that in with like a different shocking color, and that'll be kind of cool. And we'll maybe make like one more shape over here. Let's do this. Let's make 2 curved lines that kind of follow that hourglass, and they'll turn into other triangles pointing out. And this is just going to be my own pattern for my own like crazy spider. That's a warning sign for whatever I name this spider in the end. The other fun thing to realize is spiders do oftentimes and usually have hair. And they don't have hair like we have hair. We have hair to keep our heads warm and for warmth. Spiders actually have it for the same reason your dog and cats have whiskers. That is to feel. Now, a lot of times spiders are crawling around in the dark. So they've got little hairs on their mandibles and oftentimes on their abdomens and sometimes even on their legs. So if you had like really thick legs you put on your spider, which you can definitely do that if you don't want to do the thin, spindly, daddy long leg legs that I've done here. You can put hair on them because the hair actually allows them to feel things in the dark especially, or even on their web. And that is really cool because then they can, catch their prey that much better. Another piece that we're going to add to this, I like this a little bit. If your spider happens to make web, then up here you can add these 2 little bumps, and that will be the part of the abdomen where the actual web comes out of. And you can even make that apparent by taking your marker and making a very thin, try to do like, very tip of your marker line going right off the page up here. So he's like hanging down on the web. And I just think this looks really cool already. Now we can keep adding features nonstop here. We can be crazy. I had one kid make another double set of mandibles, so like more mandibles that grab the prey and bring them into the fangs, which is really cool. Pattern can be really fun to add onto these. You can do additional eyes. You can do more than 6 eyes if you want to and really make it crazy. All kinds of cool stuff. So really the sky's the limit here. But what I will say is at this point, definitely we're gonna get into some color. So one thing I will point out is that anything you have on hand to add color will be good, but what I'd like you to try to do is see what happens when you take like these crayons right here that I'm adding on. Don't just leave them normal. Blend your colors. So like I got this blue, I'm digging it, it looks good, but I don't wanna make the whole abdomen down here blue. So at a certain point, I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna find, I like this darker blue right here, almost purple, kind of a near violet. And I'm going to go and I'm going to blend it right into the blue that's there. And I might even go over a good portion of that light blue. And I'll keep this going. And the reason why I'm doing just crayon here and I'm not doing paint is because I didn't end up using watercolor paint for my demo here, because I know a lot of people are not gonna have watercolor paper and watercolor paint available. So I wanted to show you that even just crayons can be great once you put them with Sharpie. Now purple. And you guys, I think, can see how cool this looks. Now, at the very end of the video, I'll try to tack on a quick moment there because I don't want to have you wait for me to go find it, but I do have an example done in watercolor. So if I can scrounge that up and find it, I'll tack that on the end of the video. If you don't see it on the end of the video, it's because it's lost somewhere within the mess that is my classroom right now. So, anywho, that's, I think, a neat way to use something as simple as crayons, which I feel like everybody's got, to really get something cool going on. So I'm fading my purple into my blue, and I might even pull my dark blue and add it back into my purple up here. And you get this really cool transition between the colors, a nice gradient shift. And there's that. So you'd continue on with this, you'd make it look as absolutely cool as you could. Let's add some kind of pinkish orange to the eyes here. And there we go. Okay, guys? So show me your progress, show me what you come up with and what you do. Remember, it's all about overlapping those two circles, and it's also about adding some really cool detail and combining multiple disparate materials. So have some fun, make your arachnids, make them creepy, make them awesome. If you want to color in the background, definitely color in the background. But I look forward to seeing you guys make. See you later.